In this coding challenge, you have to write a Python program that swaps or changes commas in a string by dots. So let's see how you can do that. Right here we have our first option. I'm going to show you two versions of the same solution. First of all, we have to start by defining a variable that is going to store the string. In this case, our first test string will be hello world. This comma in the output should be replaced by a dot. Since strings are immutable, we cannot change the actual string that we started to work with. So we have to make a new string to show us the output. We store this initial string, which is empty at first, in a variable. Then right here you can see these two very peculiar elements of the code. Why are we writing their names in uppercase letters? Well, because they represent constants. Right here I'm assigning a name to the character comma and a name to the character dot. So after we define the constants, we start writing the for loop. We're going to iterate over every character in the string S. In this case, each character in the string hello world. And what are we going to do with the characters? Well, we're going to check if the character is equal to the character comma. If the character is a comma, then we have to replace it with a dot. So that is the element that we are going to assign or add to the new string. Instead of adding a comma, we will be adding a dot. Else, if the current value of char is not a comma, then we add the character intact because we don't want to replace it. And that is how we are going to make the new string. After that, we print it, and that will be the output. Let's see how this works if we save the file and run the code. And voila, we see the output that we expected. The string, let me zoom in, the string hello world with the comma replaced by a dot. Awesome, right? All the other characters were kept intact. Now we have another alternative that we could use to replace a character in a string, to get a different copy of the string, to get a new copy. And that would be using the replace method. Let me zoom in right here so you can see it better. We're still going to define a variable with a string. In this case, we're naming it as constants for the comma and the dot. This line is the line that makes all the magic come true. Instead of using a for loop, we are going to call the replace method on the string S. And within parentheses, we pass the character that we want to replace and the character that is going to replace it in the new copy of the string. And the output will be the value returned by this method call. Let's comment this code that we have right here above and run the code to see that the output is what we expected. Right here. We get a new copy of the string with a comma replaced by a dot. Exactly what we expected. We can also test this with a different string. For example, 3,456,344. Okay? Let's save the file and run the code. And the output is this one right here, with the commas replaced by dots. Great, so now you know how to solve this coding challenge.